Pokemon Let's Go is a no-go. The type of game that you bought for Christmas for one of your siblings saying ho ho, and as soon as they unwrap the present, the first words coming out of their mouth is oh no. The type of game that after you're done playing it completely, at best is just so-so. The type of game that if you ask one of your friends to play with you, you'd have to say no homo. That's the type of game this game is. Now, what does this game do right? A lot, actually. A lot. What does this game do wrong? A lot, actually. A lot. This game is the definition of mixed bag. The definition of 50-50. Now, what does this game do right? Stays true to Pokemon Yellow in its format. Now, what does it do wrong? Doesn't stay true to Pokemon Yellow in its format to a T. That's what it does wrong. Now, the inclusion of Eevee to get that game good. Take it, making the rival your friend instead of an actual rival that's a prick. And the whole not evolving your starter Pokemon is forgivable because Pokemon Yellow did that, even though it's based on anime. But this game isn't really based on the anime like the Yellow was. Yellow was based on the anime with Ash, and your opponent was Gary rather than being blue and you being red. This game doesn't follow that format. You're not Ash. Your opponent's not Gary. Your rival is not Gary. Yet it still takes the formula of not evolving your Pokemon because in a way that's staying true to Pokemon Yellow, but at the same time it's annoying. Because what the first thing you're gonna do? Unless you're like one of these weird guys that likes the cutesy Pokemon or you're a female, what the first thing you're gonna do is second you see another Pikachu or another Eevee out there, you're gonna capture him. Like I did. Like my original Pikachu Yellow was a girl. Usually that would bother me. Like I don't want a female, was my first Pokemon. But hey, I went ahead and just didn't care because I know I wasn't gonna use them for long. So I went ahead and freaking just got myself a boy Pikachu afterwards. Was able to evolve him to Raichu, which is my original favorite Pokemon in Pokemon. And I was dandy. Now what does it do right? You get the first 3 starter Pokemon from Red and Blue. Squirtle, Charmander, Oops. And that part it does right. Now what does it do wrong in that format? Not much really. It actually does pretty good in that format. Kind of the same way in the original Yellow. Alright. Now what does it do right? With the wild battles. What it does right, I'll tell you. Though no more wild encounters, finally. Just seeing the Pokemon run around and all that stuff makes the caves and all those dungeons that we used to hate with a passion back in the day. Now we love it. Because you can just avoid them. And if you run into them, it's not a big deal, you can run away. That was one of the most annoying things about Pokemon in the original one. Not just having the wild encounters, but the fact that I couldn't run away. Sometimes you'd be like in a random battle that you freaking couldn't stand. You're trying to escape them. And then it says you can't escape. Like, why? Why can't I escape? No, you have to stay here and fight this low-level prick who's gonna, you just want to destroy. Then, after a few can't escapes, you get annoyed and then you just want to use the strongest move you have to just annihilate him. And even though it says, Pokemon just fainted, you want to pretend like, no, I killed him. I killed him. That's what he gets for fucking with me. I was trying to escape and he fucking blocked me. Now he's dead. Screw him. I'm never seeing him again. If I run into another one of him, it's going to be another version. His brother, sisters, cousin, some other guy looks exactly like him. But not him. Because I killed him. That's how annoying that was. So that's the good part. No, what's the bad part in that? No more wild battles. You just capture them. That was the main pet peeve of mine when this game first got announced. When it first got announced as Pokemon Yellow and Eevee, I was ecstatic. Even the graphics didn't really bother me because I'm like, oh yeah, it's a hold off until the new Pokemon game comes in. Whatever. Just upscaled, 3S game. Once I found there's no wild encounters, I knew for a fact that they're gonna have a lot of trainer battles, like a whole bunch of them. I knew that because I knew for a fact that's what they were gonna do. Because that was the only way to accommodate that situation. The whole not being able to battle anymore, just freaking capture. So in that regards, I didn't hate it as much as when I actually played the game. I didn't hate it as much. But still, the whole capturing wild Pokemon, you can't weaken them. You can only capture the ball. Sucks. You know why? Because you can't even throw the Pokemon right. Like, I'm trying to throw the Pokeball in the middle of my TV, and it throws all the way to the left. I have to literally turn 90 degrees to my right and throw the Pokeball on my light switch in order for me to throw the Pokeball right in the middle and capture it. It's ridiculous. The motion controls are not good. So that kills the experience for me. Nah. Another aspect before I move on from this is the part where, hey, the legendary Pokemon and Snorlax, because apparently, he counts as that too. You only get to fight him twice when, the Pokefruit mother. The female version and a male version. It's the freaking... With those type of Pokemon, you have to beat them completely first. Once you beat them completely, then you can capture them. I want to ask you a freaking question. Why the hell couldn't we do that just for every Pokemon? Why can't I just, for every wild Pokemon battle, I weaken them to a certain point, and then when I go to my Pokeball to throw the Pokeball, instead of the Pokeball, just, toss the Pokeball and capture it or whatever, as soon as I go click the Pokeball to go throw it, go to that Pokeball mechanic where I have to toss my Pokeball Plus and my light switch so I can freaking, capture. Was that too much to ask? That's too hard? Are casual fans gonna, run and die or run hide under their beds freaking with their asses to the air and their head to the freaking ground like a freaking ostrich because of, oh no, I have to actually battle them. I have to press a button. I have to press tackle. No. I mean, seriously. Ridiculous. It's just annoying. The mechanic, especially because it doesn't work perfectly, the motion controls, is just annoying. Once I've captured the Pokemon I have to capture in that area, and the stronger versions of that area, there's no real incentive to me to want to capture anymore. You see them running around, you avoid them. You're like, hey, it's pretty cool. I don't know, Pokemon run around. You don't have that, but you avoid them. You just go around them. And the Pokemon training battles are annoying because, like, hey, you don't get to battle that much. You do get to battle a lot, but there's also a lot of times where you don't get to battle because you're busy, trying to capture Pokemon to get experience. Only capture Pokemon that have that red aura around them that shows that they're big, because that usually means they have a lot of experience. Besides that, don't really bother. Now, indirectly, because of the whole system, the way it's set up, you can't do wild battles, so you can't really get over leveled. You can't really get over leveled if there's no traditional way, meaning that this game, Pokemon Let's Go, ends up becoming the Dark Souls of the series. Because for the first time in my whole life, my Pokemon's level are kind of matched with the trainers and the gyms I fight. Now that's a positive. Because my instinct is to get over leveled, get way stronger than everybody and all the freaking trainers and all the freaking gym leaders, and just destroy them. I only have like 2 Pokemon, and they're like level 50 and fighting against a 35 trainer gym battle, and I just destroyed them. Even if I'm my Pokemon a week against them, destroyed them. That format has stopped because of this whole format that they do. Now, at first it was a negative, but I consider it a positive because it actually makes the Pokemon game feel hard for the first time. Whereas with every other game, every Pokemon game I ever played, I just storm right through them. And for the first time in my whole life, I have 6 Pokemon that I actually use and trade around and use instead of just like 2, 3, or 4. Towards the end of the game, I only had 4. Then the other 2 were just useless. So that's a positive. A negative? In a lot of ways, the game doesn't really do anything new. The charm of Pokemon Yellow was that Pokemon Yellow was more based on the anime than Red and Blue. That was the whole appeal of Yellow. Way before they just started doing a third game for the sake of doing a third game with another legendary. That's the point of Pokemon Yellow. So what's the point of this game? Just to give Pokemon Go players, a wave in to come into the Pokemon series, apparently. For someone like me who never played Pokemon Go, even when it was going bananas. I mean, during the time Pokemon Go came out, I was more excited for Sun and Moon. That was the game I wanted to play. And that was the game I did play, and I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed those games a lot, actually. But for Pokemon Go, I never cared for it. I didn't get into Pokemon Go until recently to try to get into this game. And I don't know if it's my connection or what, but I could connect the file from Pokemon Go to the Switch, but I can't actually like take Pokemon from the game from my Pokemon Go account to there. And supposedly I'm not the only one, so as far as that experience goes, doesn't really do anything for me. I was only excited for this game because it's based on Pokemon Yellow, which is the first Pokemon game I ever played. And so once this game was what I was excited for. It was based on Pokemon, kind of based on Pokemon Go. I'm like, all right. And then the whole only being able to capture Pokemon with a Pokeball. Like, all right. Well, actually, not all right. I'll be honest with you. I hated it. I was against this game until it came out. But I still ended up getting it because I gave away my 3DS. I have no Pokemon games to play. I already destroyed my 2 Digimon games. And I need to scratch that Pokemon itch. And Pokemon is my favorite franchise. You know? And so when I played this game, it's It's not based on the anime like the original Yellow was. So there goes that appeal. The rivals is is your friend. He gives you stuff, and he's a good neighbor, and he gives you advice, and he wants to batter you, and you always whip him. And then you end up feeling bad for whooping him every time because he never wins. That typical crap. Although, what's his name? Blue is in this game. And he's like half a prick because like he's the adult version of himself now, so he's not much as a prick as he was when he was a kid, but he still has that arrogance. So he's like half a prick. So it kind of scratches that itch, but not really. I still prefer a prick rival. And then the gym battles, I don't really care. The gym battles are basically, they kind of handhold you saying, hey, you need to have this kind of Pokemon against this Pokemon, or you need to be at this level, or for whatever reason, when you get the grass gym badge, when you first get in there, it's like, you need to show me a cute Pokemon. Like, what does that got to do with anything? I just showed him my Raichu. Apparently, Raichu is cute. But, the Raichu I know is the Raichu that Lieutenant Surge had in that Raichu debut in the anime match with Pikachu versus Raichu. And Raichu was badass. He came out, he looked tough, he looked angry. He looked like he was overconfident, like Lieutenant Surge was, just sitting there. Where Lieutenant Surge would be like, oh, if you want to run away, now's your chance. And then Raichu just standing there with his arms folded, and not folded, like on the side, like he's like, and then Raichu goes on to destroy Pikachu, like with no problem. And of course, the second time around, they use the whole, he's faster than you gimmick. Which is that. You can be faster than someone stronger than you, or you're going to win the match. Oh, yeah, because you do lightning fast jabs. Like, can he just eat one of your fast punches, just bear hug you, and then that's the end? With the whole Raichu thing, he just like he tried to do a body slam, and he moves out the way, and then he goes and circles around him, and he gets dizzy. And then he does a big giant thunderbolt, and he just uses his tail to like avoid it, I guess, or whatever. Not that a thunderbolt should affect the Pikachu anyway. Anyway, that's I'm getting off topic anyway. The point is, Raichu's supposed to look like tough, but he's cute anyway. The whole point was that the gym badge thing, the whole gym battle thing, is like they have their own criteria. Like one of the gym battles I just did, so you have to have like 50 Pokemon, different species, which I did have like 63. And whatever, so it's not that big a deal. This game is very bare bones. Meaning this game should have been like $40. Because this feels like they just used the graphic, which they did. They used the graphics from Sun and Moon, upscaled it. They didn't have to put in a script or anything. They just upscaled the graphics, grabbed the yellow script that they had, freaking just remade that. They didn't have to put much work into this. There's very minimal money they put into this game. And the fact that this game is $60, it's ridiculous. Then the Pokeball Plus is like 40, what, $50? $50 for the Pokeball Plus controller? That thing is $30 at best, at most. Should be $20. You should only have to spend $60 on a Pokeball Plus in the game. But of course it's not going to happen because they know if they sell the game for $60 and sell the Pokeball Plus for $50, we're going to buy it because we're all retarded. I'm retarded. I bought it because I'm retarded. But anyway, fact of the matter is this, when I say this game is bare bones, I mean it doesn't feel like a complete game. When you spend $60 on freaking The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, you felt like you spent $60 on a meaty game that took you a while to beat. When you spend $60 on Super Mario Odyssey, all the extra moons you can collect if you want, if you don't just storm right through it and you want to collect all those moons, you know how much money bang for your buck you get out of a Super Mario Odyssey? How much bang for your buck you get out of a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? How much bang for the buck you get for freaking Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as long as that game is, and how much you could do, all the side quests you could do? Are you kidding me? This game feels like it's $40. Seriously. This feels like the I Am Setsuna and Last Fear. Games I spent money on, by the way. I bought those games. I Am Setsuna felt kind of fair at $40. Although I'd prefer maybe it was $30. But that's what this game feels like. And then what? They grabbed the I Am Setsuna engine that they already had and just put and then made Lost Fear and made that $50, which is ridiculous. So they won't what a game they didn't sell. Shit. Not like I Am Setsuna and Lost Fear has a freaking name value that freaking sell. You know, they could just put any price on it and it's gonna sell. I mean, come on. But at least with I Am Setsuna and Lost Fear, they made a whole new story and all that stuff. This game, what did it do besides made it that the Pokemon can run around with you, which that's a plus. But after a while, it just makes you kind of think like, shouldn't they have had this in every other game anyway? Which they probably couldn't do it because of the limited hardware of, you know, the 3DS and all those other handhelds. Now they have a system where they can do that. But it feels like the game should have always been there. And there's a lot of Pokemon they feel like you should be able to ride and you can't. But it's only like 17 Pokemon you could ride. Are you serious? Freaking Venusaur, as big as he is, you can't just ride on this tree trunk that he has growing out of his back. Blastoids, you told me you wouldn't just hop on his back. They freaking make you hop on Snorlax, and like, really? And you hop on him by like sticking to his stomach, like as if he just like he was sleeping and woke up, and then you and Pikachu stuck to your stomach, and you just running around, doesn't realize you're on his stomach. You know, like a cartoon or something. Like when you just be on his shoulder or something. And freaking when my champ, he picks you up like as if we're in the pool and you're on the top of, you know, your dad's shoulders, and you're trying to push your cousin over off the pool and all that stuff, whatever. Actually, that's not how Machamp does it, huh? Machamp freaking picks you up like it's a wedding, and then you're taking your wife into the car with the just got married sign on the back. Whatever. That's a cool feature, but is that enough to save this game? Alright? Every Pokemon falling behind your back, definitely a cool feature, not enough to save this game. Not being able to evolve your starter Pokemon, unnecessary. Why make us capture a second Eevee? Why make us capture a second Pikachu? Why? Why make us not being able to battle the wild Pokemon? Unnecessary. Unnecessary. I understand this is supposed to be for Pokemon Go players, but what person who played Pokemon Go is going to buy this game and buy a Switch? I mean, the Switch is already getting enough casual fans as it is. This does not feel like a AAA $60 game. It doesn't. This does not feel like a AAA $60 game. That's one of the problems with this. You know, you play through it, you know, everything is kind of skipped, you know, the animation, you know, movie scenes or whatever are cool, whatever. Jesse and James is in there. But it's like, why are you doing something based on the anime of the real Jesse and James from Team Rocket? But then everyone else? And by everyone else, I just mean, you know, it's not based on the anime. There's no Ash, there's no Gary, you know. Mickey and Misty don't follow you, so what? What is the freaking point? What is the freaking point of having Team Rocket there? That's the only thing based off the anime this thing is. And when they blast off, they don't freaking go into the sky with a ding in the sky. They just run away and say, "We're blasting off again." No, you're not. You're running away with your freaking arms in the air. And freaking Meowth doesn't even talk English. He just goes and scratches his face. So what the hell's the point of him being there? You know what would save this game? And I'm not just talking about the graphics, because even though there's just cheap graphics, base it off the anime. Make the main character Ash. Make your rival Gary, who's a prick. When you defeat Team Rocket, they actually blast off into the air with a thing. Make Pikachu do electric ball and animation and make sure I'm flying in the sky. That's it. Not hard. I wouldn't put that much freaking effort into it. When you defeat Misty, when you defeat Brock, his dad comes back with his kids, raises his kids to be a gym leader. Brock follows you, and then when you defeat Misty or her hotter sisters or whatever the heck, freaking run the gym, and then she goes and follows you. Pikachu doesn't evolve. You can keep that, and that's it. And then you go to Pokemon. You go to the Elite Four. You beat beat whoever you beat. Gary. Go to the Pokemon League. You become Pokemon League champion. Something the freaking anime never does. And then happily ever after. This game would have been perfect. It would have been an A, not an A+, because once you upscale the graphics, then it would have been an A+. But since Pokemon Yellow was loosely based off the anime, you should have made this Pokemon Yellow, the actual remake, really based off the anime to the T. And this game would have been a whole lot, But of course, the point of this game wasn't to remake Pokemon Yellow, make it more based off the anime. The point of this game, which is just all the Pokemon Go fans and all the money made from them trying to slide them into the Pokemon series by doing the bare bones, just like the Pokemon Go started off with Generation 1. Well, this is going to start with Generation 1 too. We can't remake Red and Blue. We already did that. Make it based off Pokemon Yellow, also had Eevee Bam. But the way I would have done it would have been Pokemon Yellow would have been Ash, and then Pokemon Eevee, you would have been Gary beating Ash. Told me you guys wouldn't like that. But even if the graphics were the same, they would have just did all I said. Perfect. But there's just for Pokemon Go fans. If they even exist. If they didn't already move on. You think about all the Pokemon Go fans are now pretty much us. The fans. When Pokemon first became hot, the people who stopped getting into Pokemon ran off. People who were not into Pokemon already ran off from Pokemon Go. It's just us fans. And there's a whole lot of us, because you know how well the Pokemon game sells. But that's all you would have to do. This game is a C at best. A C. I would have gave it a D, but the game is actually more redeemable than it has good qualities about it. It did do things right. If this game would have done nothing right, this game would have been an F. But the game gets a C. The game gets a C because there is things it does right. Making it that I can't overpower my Pokemon, even though you pretty much can if you wanted to, but I am not willing to freaking do try to capture a whole bunch of chances, capture like 20, 30, 50,000 of them. I am not willing to go to that crap. I'm willing to level up the old school way, which is battle and battle and battle and battle and battle until your freaking fingers fall off. 8-button abuser. But to do it the capturing way, just capture a bunch of Pokemon, oh hell no. Give myself a headache. Freaking had to lie down like I just played a freaking 3-hour session of VR or something. But the fact of the matter is, this game is a C. It does a lot of things right. But then there is a lot of things that just come off as lazy. The graphics are too freaking 3DS-ish. The game is overpriced. The Pokemon Plus accessory, even though it's not really part of the game, even though it is, it's overpriced. The control scheme where they force you to only use one controller. You can't use the Pro controller. No. You only use one controller. So if you don't have the Pokemon Plus like I do, you have to grab one of your Joy-Cons. I grabbed the right one. And you have to use that. And you have to play the game like that. You can't have two controllers playing this game. That's against Jesus. We have to only use one freaking controller. So these are the cons. And even though it's supposed to be a Pokemon Go game, it is based off Pokemon Yellow loosely. And that's going to be a con for me. Because Pokemon Yellow is my introduction to Pokemon. I love that game. And any game that's even loosely based off it, if it's not based off it the way I want it to be, or the way I envisioned the original Yellow to be, it's going to be a con for me. Because then I haven't even got started on the after game content. There is no after game content. Once you beat the game, put the controller down, find some other, play Smash Brothers. It's coming out in a few days. Freaking let's go play Smash Brothers, guys. Because that's the next game to play. Because The only thing you can do after this game is done is you already know. There's gonna be 151 trainers scattered around the world with their overpowered, super overpowered Charizard or Pikachu or whatever. Each Pokemon of each 151, original 151 or whatever. First of all, they're gonna be very overpowered, like a level 80 or 99, something like that. So that's a lot. And since I don't even know after you beat the game if you could battle trainers again. So that's a lot of captured Pokemon you have to do to level up. And if this was the old school way of leveling up with just battle wild Pokemon, and even then, going to level 99, I have better things to do in my life, right? But you have to get to a very high level. It's a lot of Pokemon you have to capture. And even then, you have to battle the Pokemon with the same Pokemon. So you fight a Charizard, you use a Charizard. They don't just make you use whatever Pokemon you want. So, unless you guys really have nothing better to do, you're not doing that, and I ain't doing it either. So the after game content is pretty much non-existent. The game is based off Yellow, but not really. It's kind of more Pokemon. It's really just a translate. It's really just a transfer the Pokemon Go fans to here, which is not really gonna do well. You know, this game only sold well because us Pokemon fans. We never played a Pokemon game in our home before. We never played it on our TV before. We always played it in our freaking handheld. So that's a plus. But this game is a C. It's a solid C. I was gonna say C minus, but it does a lot right. It's a C. The Pokemon battles are at least somewhat entertaining. It's Pokemon. It's just turn-based. You pick a move. He kind of does something related to the move, like, you know, if it's a punch, he's gonna kind of throw a punch. That's it. You know, use the Thunder attack. You know, at least they do put an effort in some moves, like Hyper V with Thunder. You know, like Thunder Shock, Thunderbolt, and Thunder all look different. Thunder Shock looks like he just kind of jolts you. Thunderbolt, he shoots a straight up freaking lightning bolt at you. Thunder, he freaking goes up to the sky, and the whole giant freaking lightning bolt hits them from the sky. You know, but not enough effort into this game. The hand holding is whatever. The wild capturing, the motion controls don't even work properly. They should just made it battles. So even the only mechanic to do is capture these wild Pokemon. They will even do that right because the motion controls suck. The freaking game is not really based off of Pokemon, the anime like Yellow was. The game just comes off as lazy. They slapped it together. They had to put very minimal effort into it. They had to just copy what they did all like 20 years ago with the game. They took out some mechanics, added some new things, put in some features that they're already, you know, screwing around with on the 3DS, but they couldn't do it because of lack of power. And that's about it. This game is a C. It's average. Obviously, this isn't the Pokemon game, the true Pokemon game. The actual one is coming out late 2019, but this game has to be put as what it is. This game was an appetizer, and it should have been priced as an appetizer. It should have been promoted as an appetizer. Instead, it was kind of promoted like, oh, it was the main game. So, this game is a C. It's not what put on it. It is not the true successor to Mario and Zelda that we played, like Xenoblade Chronicles. And I think even Smash Brothers is doing their thing better. They added all the fighters and added a story this time. And this game is just meh. I like it and I play the game like the death because it's Pokemon, because I am a Pokemon fan. And I'm going to play it because it's Pokemon. But it didn't wow me like a Digimon game did. Which I'll be making another video based on that. Digimon, I was never a Digimon fan. I always hated them. I thought they were copying Pokemon. The only Digimon I ever liked was Digimon Frontier. That's right, I said it. I ain't freaking scared to say it. Freaking Digimon Frontier was the show. But it wasn't until Cyber Sleuth came out and I was hearing good things about it that I freaking decided to pick it up, and I haven't regretted it. Those are two of my some of my favorite RPGs, man, because of the story, you know. And these Pokemon games, they're always the same freaking game every time. They do very little different. You know, they put in very minimal effort. A lot of Pokemon games come out as same-ish and lazy, and they only get added thing here and the thing there. Where Mario every few games is freaking changing, their format and changing everything and changing the whole platforming genre and freaking defining, eras and defining consoles and selling. Zelda the same thing, always doing its thing, especially with Breath of the Wild recently. Every few games they freaking define a genre and freaking kill it and get all these things. And Pokemon, out of all the big franchises for Nintendo, Mario and Zelda, Smash Bros, Pokemon, what did they do? Is the same format every single time, slightly changed. And every now and again, they, after all these years of coming out with the same freaking game over and over again, they manage to get even lazier. Every so often, Mario and Zelda define an era. Every so often, Pokemon shows that they're lazy as hell. Every now and again, Pokemon shows that, hey, I know we put very minimal effort into all our new games, but here's even less effort. Here you go. That's what it feels like with freaking Game Freak. Every so often, we already put in minimal effort as it is, because all we do is just add new Pokemon, come up with it's kind of a new story, but it's the same thing, badge, except for Sun and Moon. They're kind of trying to change the formula, and actually made it at least unique for once. But before that, badge, Elite Four, buy, you're done. Oh yeah, legendary here, and no, buy. Give us some money. And of all these years of being kind of same-ish and never really like trying to change the format like Mario and Zelda do, they come out and show that they're even lazier than that. And that's kind of the disappointment with being Pokemon. This wasn't my favorite franchise, and it's like wow, it's like this is the game they came out with. Where Digimon is freaking actually made me fans of theirs. Actually going back and watch some of the old Digimon anime shows, just because based on the games they're actually good. Now they're the same turn-based crap, but they at least do enough different. They have normal moves, they have super powered moves, and you could use 3 of them at a time, and they at least do. They grab like an old format, did enough to make it their own format, and also the main point of an RPG is story. I mean, the main point of every RPG is story. Because a lot of RPGs, especially if they're turn-based, is kind of the same crap over and over again, ain't it? With kind of their own format to make it enough that they're as unique as their own. But the story always drives you, Like Dragon Quest is just a turn-based game, but they do enough with the story to get interested in it. That's with every RPG. But freaking Pokemon is the only RPG in the game, and one of the best selling at that, they don't do nothing different. They believe in if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and man, do they never fix it. And then every now and again, they show us that as lazy as they seem to be throughout the whole freaking series of Pokemon, they could even get lazier than that. And that's what really disappoints me about these Pokemon games. Whereas Digimon, at least, the story is interesting enough to make you freaking want to go through that whole game. This Pokemon entry is just it. And it makes you really worried about this Pokemon game coming up. Because even if they do a lot of things right, like to take off you could do wild battles again. You don't have to have no wild encounters. There's a whole bunch of new Pokemon. Story-wise, which is the main emphasis of every RPG that ever comes out. Are they going to do enough for this game story-wise? Or even mechanically, battle-wise? Because God knows they haven't. Are they going to be able to do enough to make us interested into this series again? Because I don't know, with this game it was just like, I loved it because it's Pokemon. At the same time, it's the first Pokemon, you play at your house. But how much longer can they keep this up? And you think they can probably keep it up forever. Because it kind of seems like that, right? The games always sell. But I don't know, man. Nothing lasts forever. No Juggernaut stays on top forever. And someone tells me unless they're one of the games they come up with just doesn't sell at all, that this format is going to keep going like this. I don't know.